What is going on, people? In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I turn this photo into this photo using Lightroom CC, which you can download for free on your mobile. I'll also shout out to John O'Carey, added on an Irish photographer. He was in the previous video for donating me this photo. Check him out, link is in the description. Let's get into it. Okay, so in editing, it took me ages to edit the photo, right? So what I'm going to do is I have the photo edited, but I'm going to quickly run through the changes I've made to the photo that'll be easier for you to follow along, because there was a lot of me going because there was a lot of work to be done to this photo. So I'm going to start the screen recording in 2 seconds. So obviously this was the photo that we started with, and this is the photo that we ended with. Now I have two versions of it that I'm going to leave at the end, so I want you to comment which one you prefer at the end. So I edited there's one change in both photos, and I want you to tell me which one you prefer. So the first thing you always do is create it into a 4x5 for Instagram, because Peter McKinnon says it, whenever he says we do. So 4x5, so this is the way I've cropped it, and then I straightened it as well, but Jonathan had it pretty straight as it was, the fellow who donated the photo, at another Irish photographer, link in the description. No, actually I just realised my housemate's upstairs probably asleep, so I'm going to kind of tone it down a small bit. Okay, so the first thing I did was I put the exposure to 0.82 because it was a bit of a dark photo. Contrast up to +24, and I took all of the highlights out because the highlights is what, I'll just show you here. That's what the photo looked like normally with the highlights in it, and that's what they look like when you take it out of it. I bumped the shadows just to bring a little bit of brightness up into the darkness here. Shh, that's a dog. So just to, as you can see, just to bring a little bit of brightness in the bottom of the photo there. Now, then I played with the S-curve a small bit, so I brought a little bit up in the highlights, I brought a little bit down in the shadows because that's what an S-curve is, and then I kind of created a point here, and I bumped that up because, watch the way that kind of like, kind of fades the bottom, yeah, just to kind of like even out the shadows a small bit. Now, we're going to move down to the temperatures. Now, I brought the temperature down from what it was, from 4900 down to 408. I just remember seeing it there because I like a kind of like a blue tone, and that kind of gives it a nice blue tone. So we went with that. We're moving nice and quick here. I like this. This is much easier. The next video, I will do it properly, but this is video 1, so just vibe with me on this one. Now, so I left the reds alone because there's nothing really red that I want to change in the picture. Now what I did do was I upped the saturation of the oranges to +46, and I took out the luminance because if the luminance is up, there's no detail in the train. So and if the luminance is down, there's a lot of detail. So I put that at around, what was it, -16, around there, just to bring a little bit of detail. And I upped the saturation of the orange just to give a bit more of a pop. Like, watch, that's what it was beforehand. Bring it up. I'm actually gonna just make this easier. 46, enter. It pops the orange a small little bit more. So just what I liked. The yellows, I just brought the yellow down to -71 because that's what it looks like when it was normal. So I just made it -71. Because that's just, see, what I was doing in the original one, I was sliding up and back, and the video could go on for ages, so I just decided not to do it. The greens, I took completely to the left. I took out a lot of their saturation, so they're not clashing with the orange, and then the luminance, I just brought it down a small little bit, because I like to do that with a lot of colours. The blues, I left the same, because the blues all down here and stuff, like, I like that colour. Now, this is the colour that I love, and I always work with. So this was the baby blue purple colour at the start. It's kind of mixture between the two of these. When you bring that in, watch the colour it starts to give. I love that blue tone, so I brought that in. What did I put that at? -20. -20. I just love that kind of like a bit of. I could bring a bit more in, should I? No, I won't. I'm gonna put that down to -20. Just there, and then I took out a little bit of the saturation because look how saturated it is with the blue. So just tone it down. Just tone it down a small little bit. What was that on? -43. Left that at -43. So that's kind of like the colours. I don't think I did anything with these, did I? No, didn't touch any of the purples or anything. Then I came down here. I'll actually come back to the vignette and the clarity. So literally in every single photo I ever like upload to Instagram, I have like -15%, -15 vignette, because it gives it that nice little kind of like brings the photo together. I think it just brings the photo together. Yeah. Put that back to -15. I usually go around -15, just a little bit, something that you notice, but it's not going to be so noticeable. And I bumped the clarity as well to +15. Yeah, that was just to make it a little bit sharper. So I'm going to say 15. Now, this is where all the edits come in. This is what really brings the photo together. So I have two linear gradients. I have one on the left hand side with a little bit of exposure. Oh, I have to click it then. With the exposure popped, that kind of brings a fade in from the left because the sun, the sun is shining off this train. So I'm bringing a fade in to kind of like brighten, as if like there's the sun there shining down top of it. And then I've got one on the bottom. That's just to darken the ground, to just draw your attention away from like the surface that's there. It's just kind of like it's a linear effect up into the train. So kind of like there's so much lost space there. Just get rid of it. Just put a little bit of an effect up there to bring your attention to the trains, which is the subject of the photo. And then here I have two as well. So this is one here is the one I'm kind of iffy about. This one I just put around the train, brought up the exposures a small little bit just so that the trains are popping. So it's kind of like everything around, because there's a lot of dead space. There's nothing in the sky, there's nothing in the ground apart from weeds. The photo is of the trains with the sunset. That's in the center of the photo, so that's what I'm focusing on. So I just brought up the exposure of the train. And then this one, I'm after putting this one in here, and I put the tint up to plus 42 because I'll reset that. Oh, what did I just do there? Yeah, there we go. So reset that. So as you can see with the tint in that, what is this one called again? Radial filter. It changes the color of the sky and it kind of makes it look like there's a sun. I know the sun was kind of over here or kind of like here, but like you can't see the sun because it's behind the trains. So what I did was I put a radial filter up into the sky and I just bumped the temperature a small little bit to take the coolness. Watch, that's what it is. Just give it a add to the sunset. What did I have that in again? Plus 42, just to add to the sunset. And basically that was the whole photo. So I'm going to put the two photos at the end here side by side, one with the sun, one without the sun. I want you to comment below and tell me which one you prefer. I'm also going to throw Johnny C's edit in, the person who donated this photo. His Instagram handle is @AnotherIrishPhotographer. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please throw a comment below. Tell me if you like it longer, if you'd like me to go into more detail, if you'd like to literally sit with me as I edit, or do you prefer me going through it the way I just did? Because I think it's a little bit quicker, because I personally hate sitting and watching a video for like 45 minutes. I want it as quick as it possibly can be. But anyway, that is the final photo. This is what I started with. This is what I ended with. I think it bangs. If you think it bangs, follow me on Instagram @Mortell. All the links will be in the description. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm doing this because I enjoy doing it. See you in the next video. Peace. I'd love a rake again. No, fuck, that was stressful. Or a pizza. I can't stop falling for you.